One rapper gets his chain snatched on stage. Another gets stripped naked by his ops in the streets. We got rappers who are getting robbed live. Starting with Soulja Boy, who liked a photo of Karrueche Tran, Chris Brown's ex, which apparently causes a full-blown internet war between them.
Better stop playing with me, nigga. You better ask my little brother, Lil 100, nigga. We put Famous Dex on, nigga. You think you hard cause you hit Rihanna, nigga? Cause you beat Rihanna up, nigga? Do that shit to me, ass nigga.
But the situation takes an unexpected turn when Soulja went live walking through seemingly a rough neighborhood. After he started calling out Chris Brown and acting tough, local guys who didn't really appreciate his fake gangstiness found out his location and pulled up on him.
Hey, they say Soulja ain't from the hood. They say Soulja ain't from the hood. Oh, man, that's like, what's happening?
Things get real heated when they snatch Soulja's phone while he's still streaming. His crew tries to defuse this and get that phone back, but the more they talk, the more heated things get. These guys don't care or are impressed by his fame and are ready to throw hands on him if he didn't check himself.
Oh, man, whose phone is this? It's my brother's phone. My phone. My phone. Bro, stop all that weird ass shit you got cracking nigga before I really knock you out.
It's a legendary L, but this next one gets his chain stolen from none other than 50 Cent, who then mocked him for rocking the chain on his IG. Slow Bucks and 50 were cool, until they weren't. Things got stupid when Slow got a little too close to 50's enemies, so he pops up on a diss track aimed at 50. And then he takes it even further, posting a picture with 50's estranged son on Instagram. Now that was the last straw. 50 wasted no time, jumping into the comments and making it clear.
This picture was a bad idea.
And when 50 says something's a bad idea, you better believe it's a bad idea. At Hot 97 Summer Jam in 2014, in the middle of the crowd, things get heated, and before he knew it, his chain is gone, snatched right off his neck. And just to make sure everyone knew who was in charge, 50 didn't just sit back. But speaking of not sitting back, this next rapper's ops were ready when he accidentally dropped his location. Young Berg, now known as Hitmaker, has had his fair share of scuffles, but this time he was caught lacking. It all happened during a chill night in the studio with his partner, A1.
I started this podcast with my dog, Tarek, motherfucking Angel Levy, D-Dot.
The stream wasn't even from A1's account. It was his wife's, Lyrica Anderson, thanks to a shared login. However, someone got a hold of their location. Fans had no clue what they were watching at first, but it quickly became obvious.
Put that camera down. Put that camera down. Put that camera.
Bro, I don't know, my nigga.
The stream cut fast, the damage was done. Two armed men storm in, snatch cash and jewelry and dip, all in less than a minute. Lyrica, finding out from social media, posted a tearful video. But was it random? A1 didn't think so. In fact, during the live stream, you can see A1 all mad at his homies because no one saw these robbers walk right past him.
Bro, y'all ain't see shit, my nigga. Y'all didn't see two niggas running here with a gun, my nigga. How the fuck y'all letting motherfuckers run in, nigga?
A slip-up with a login put the whole thing on blast, a robbery that felt a little too perfect, and once again the internet got a front row seat. But that wasn't nearly as bad as this next rapper, who was exposed in front of the internet with no clothes on. In the Brooklyn rap scene, Primo, aka Primo Rice, has been making waves, oftentimes showing off his stacks of cash and ice on social media. But as many artists have learned the hard way, the spotlight can turn you into a mark real quick. Now what happened to Primo was pretty embarrassing. Security footage captures this whole thing. Primo getting stripped of his chains and watches in what he later claimed was a $400,000 robbery. But the robbers took it a step further, humiliating him, pulling down his pants during this attack. But Primo had already spoken about this months ago. During this interview on Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion podcast, he describes how four masked men run up on him. What he didn't mention was that this was all caught on camera, which made it all worse.
Niggas did what they were supposed to do. Niggas got lucky, that's it.
After the video went viral, Primo tried to control the narrative by appearing on the Set the Tone podcast. Now here, he claims it was all a setup, suggesting someone in his circle had lined him up for the robbers.
Yeah, I got robbed because I was lacking. I was loudly gagging. You gotta understand, it's 365 days in a year, right?
Right.
I had jewelry on every day.
While Primo's trying to defend himself, the street had its own theories. Fans debated whether he really lost $400,000 worth of jewelry, or if he's just inflating some numbers to maintain some kind of image. However, one could say that this incident was inevitable. When you're constantly showing off your crap, it's only a matter of time before someone decides to take it from you. But this next rapper couldn't even make a quick run to the corner store without his ops tracking his every move. Fredo Bang coming out of Baton Rouge with a mix of pain and pressure in his music. He had some bangers like Ooh, and linked up with folks like Lil Durk, but with that kind of come up, the street ties and drama never stay too far behind. In 2024, Fredo's outside a Baton Rouge convenience store. What happens next could have changed his career forever.
Man, y'all won't believe what happened yesterday, bro. A nigga tried to snatch my chain. This shit on my neck.
But Fredo ain't going out like that. Unlike many rappers who've had their chains taken, he managed to hold on to his jewelry and escape this situation. The fans were wondering exactly what went down between him and these would-be robbers when the cameras weren't rolling. Right after the incident, Fredo hops on the gram posting a story of him laughing, probably directed at the thugs who try to rob him. No names are dropped, no arrests are made, but one thing became obvious. Fredo Bang ain't your average rapper. If you go for his chain, you're in for a world of hurt. NBA Youngboy, always a magnet for controversy. By 2020, he's at the top of the rap game, fresh off a #1 mixtape, bouncing between Baton Rouge and Houston, where he had a new house, away from all this street drama. But no matter where he goes, trouble seems to follow. While he's out of town, Youngboy's Houston home gets hit. And it's not just any robbery. The guys are filming the whole thing. The shaky footage, later shared by Hip Hop Lately and Say Cheese TV, shows them rummaging through his bedroom, grabbing some jewelry, clothes, maybe even some cash.
And Youngboy taking his shit, nigga.
But they didn't just take his stuff, they try to sell it back to him. Word is they demanded $30K to return everything, acting like they had the upper hand. How they reached out isn't really clear, but one thing's for sure. They wanted Youngboy to know exactly who did it.
Hey, YB, nigga, fuck your crib, nigga. I'm coming for all that shit. On the guys, we taking everything, bitch.
Youngboy's response, classic. He goes live with the robbers, straight up pressing them.
What you mean what I'm on?
What you on? What the deal there? What up?
What up? You want to buy your shit back or what?
You ain't get shit, you thought ass nigga. I'm trying to see where you at. You dumb motherfucker. What you got, $20 out of car?
Youngboy wasn't home when that happened, which probably saved someone's life, given his history. This wouldn't be the first time someone tries messing with Mr. NBA Youngboy here, though. And you know he ain't down for any kind of disrespect. In 2017, during a show in Greensboro, North Carolina, chaos breaks out. Somewhere in the crowd, a hand reaches up, and in a split second, his chain was gone. He stops the music, grabs the mic, and calls out that thief directly. Youngboy made it clear that he ain't the one to play with.
You see that chain? Hey, you see that chain you just took out my partner neck? Hey, that chain you just took out my partner neck, that ain't his chain. That's my chain. I ain't really tripping off this shit. I got too much money. Man, shoot this bitch up safe.
Now, it should have ended there, but the thieves weren't done. The next day, a video surfaces online. Someone flashing Youngboy's chain, demanding $50K for its return.
I seen and I picked it up, but I snatched that nigga shit out. Anybody, nigga. After I snatched that nigga shit, that nigga ran to the stage. Everybody ran to the stage. Nah, man, we gonna put that shit on live so everybody see the shot.
Ooh, the back and forth could have turned ugly, but before things did escalate, rapper JoJo Capone steps in to mediate. Within days, the chain's back in Youngboy's possession.
You know, the chain still got taken, so it's kind of like you really damn near don't even want the shit
But maybe YoungBoy had it coming, as he's about that kind of life long before this happened. This next rapper, however, got slapped with reality pretty early in his career. Back in 2008, before Tyga becomes this mainstream name, he's still trying to adjust to life in the spotlight. And with that new fame comes some hard lessons.
Tyga? This nigga sitting right here talk about Tyga. The nigga that lost his bitch to Travis Scott.
Oh shit. Holy shit.
The nigga that Travis Scott nutted in the bitch and got her pregnant.
Damn. Holy shit. Big Draco.
That year, Tyga got his chain snatched. According to him, he wasn't being careful enough, and the streets took advantage.
Go. Yeah, this your boy Rockstar from HY. Dig the team. You see this chain? Fuck that Tyga. This is what happened when you do your young niggas wrong. I took care of your bitch.
But his chain didn't stay with the original thieves for long. This is where rapper 40 Glock enters the picture. His crew ain't about to let anybody else profit off the situation. Not long after Tyga's chain was taken, 40 Glock's goons robbed the robbers, taking the chain for themselves. And they didn't keep it quiet.
You see who it is. Infamous. Nigga, you see what it is.
I know them G don't play.
You see what it is.
Popping that shit.
Popping that shit.
40 Glock wanted the world to know. He posted a video of himself flexing with Tyga's chain on YouTube.
Man, catch a lot of more rappers like that too.
You be careful.
We still in the gutter with it, you feel me? It's your boy Village Bull.
No, a lot of you motherfuckers gonna run around talking about, oh, 40 you jacked a little kid. Nigga, we ain't jacked a little nigga. But we got it though. Get that.
We got the money.
Look at that.
We got the money, man. Yeah, we got the money, man.
Right price, you can get that back.
Money. We listening, you know, the street fuck with us because we fuck with the street, you feel me? Man. That's how we got our hands on these, because we fuck with the street. Now you want them back, we can negotiate, you feel me?
But Tyga wasn't stressing it. Instead of chasing revenge, he plays it cool. According to him, his friends in the streets eventually got that chain back. No violence, no drama, just a simple trade. All they wanted in return, a guest verse from Tyga.
I guess now is talking about I bought my chain back. Nah, none of that happened. Nobody from Cash Money, Young Money dropped no bread to get nothing back, man. All it was a couple phone calls.
Tyga learned quickly. In this game, sometimes your name is worth more than money. But it goes to show that being famous doesn't really make you untouchable. Take this next rapper for example, serving some jail time but also gets a dose of his own medicine while out of town. Tee Grizzley has lived that kind of life that sounds like one of his songs. College, crime, prison, then rap stardom. But even after turning his life around, troubles still found him.
So he was trying to charge us with armed robbery, right? Because we ran in the store, we had a sledgehammer and shit trying to get the jury. They say we armed because of the sledgehammer, right? So I get in the law book, first thing I see, I go to that type of shit. And they say you can only consider something a weapon if they use it to threaten somebody and demand something.
September 2022, just days before his wedding, T's LA home in Porter Ranch gets hit. While he was out, burglars break a window and walk off with over $1 million in jewelry and stacks of cash. The timing was wild. This happened right as he was dropping Robbery Part 4, a series all about heists and street life.
Did y'all speak about that Tee Grizzley situation?
No, we briefly, but we ain't really spoke like too much into it.
I just want to ask y'all, because there's a lot of motherfuckers in there 50-50 about this shit that's saying it might be an insurance job.
We never saw footage of the break-in. TMZ and Hip Hop DX break the story, citing police reports. Nobody was home, which was probably a blessing, considering how these situations end up. But instead of ranting online, T kept it real. His focus wasn't about the money he lost, but on something bigger. He goes on the gram and barely talks about the robbery. Instead, he mourns his friend, PNB Rock, who was killed in a robbery just days later.
Send a prayer up for PNB Rock and his kids, King Von and his kids, and all the kids out here that gotta grow without their pops. You feel me? And I had to go through that. I grew without my pops.
Man, PNB Rock was a real gangster. The one that started in the streets, went into prison to learn something, and then ended up in the music industry. So by the time he's gaining recognition, it seemed like he'd left the streets behind. He's finally living the life he probably deserved. But then on September 12th, 2022, everything came crashing back. That afternoon, PNB Rock and his girlfriend Stephanie Sabunwong sat down for lunch at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles in South LA. This should have been just a regular day. Instead, a tragedy plays out in real time.
And breaking right now, TMZ reporting that rapper and Philadelphia native PNB Rock has died after he was shot inside a Los Angeles restaurant during an apparent robbery.
At 1:15 p.m., a masked gunman, later identified as 17-year-old Freddie Lee Trone, walked straight up to their table. He ain't there for a handshake. He wanted his jewelry, the same diamond-encrusted chains that had become a signature of his success. But PNB Rock didn't just hand him over. Before he could even think about doing anything, he gets shot, once in the chest, twice in the back. Stephanie's frozen and barely managed to give up her jewelry before the guy ran out through a side door to a waiting car.
The suspect then shot the victim multiple times and removed property and then left the location in a getaway car. The getaway car fled in an unknown direction. We don't know where the vehicle went.
And get this, while PNB's there, bleeding out, people are literally pulling out their phones and filming. The video that went around was heartbreaking, like something you'll never forget. They rushed this poor guy to the hospital, but it's too late. He leaves behind two girls, Milan and Zuri.
Lonnie for funny, but Bonnie. Stop acting like you shy all the time, man. Say what's up. You know, X emotion.
Naturally, people started pointing fingers. Stephanie's IG story showing their meal at Roscoe's with the geotag was widely mentioned on social media. Even Nicki Minaj called it reckless. Cardi B would jump in defending her, saying the blame wasn't really on her. But as this investigation went on, things started to look way darker. This wasn't some random crime. It was all planned. The suspects were already in the parking lot before that post even went up. Someone had set PNB Rock up.
But what they don't know, outside in the parking lot, a plot is being hatched to rob the rapper of the $500,000 in jewelry that he's wearing.
So here's the twist. Turns out a third guy, Tremont Jones, saw PNB Rock at the door and made a call, tipping off the robbers. But that's not even the craziest part. By late 2024, people started saying that someone at Roscoe's might have had a hand in it too. Apparently, an employee purposely delayed their food by 40 minutes, giving the killers more time to make their move. Some even said there was footage that proves it.
At 1:17 p.m., the unarmed security guard notices the commotion and flees. Seconds later, PNB Rock is shot.
PNB Rock's death wasn't just a robbery gone wrong, but a planned hit. And the deeper you look, the more disturbing it gets. But this wouldn't be the only robbery that turned into a death scene. This next incident shook the entire hip-hop community. XXXTentacion had a life as turbulent as his music. He'd spent most of his teen years in trouble and entangled in street violence. But once he started popping on the music scene, he would never imagine his dark past would catch up with him. But eventually, it did. X pulls up to Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, Florida, looking for a new bike. What he didn't expect, though, was the four guys who'd been following him. Earlier in the day, he pulls out $50K in cash from Bank of America and stuffs it into a Louis Vuitton bag. Someone notices, word gets around, and before long, a robbery plan is set in motion. The footage showed these people following him since then, just waiting for the right moment. And as he's leaving the dealership, his black BMW i8 gets blocked by a dark Dodge Journey. Two masked guys, Michael Boatwright and Trevon Newsom, jump out, guns drawn, demanding this bag. X hesitates for a second, and that's when Boatwright fires several shots into his neck and chest. They grab the money and take off. X's friends in the car seeing the whole thing and is not injured. Paramedics rush X to the hospital, but he's dead. At 20 years old, one of rap's most controversial and impactful voices was gone. But the killers had been sloppy. Hours after the murder, they're filming themselves on Instagram, flashing stolen cash. That flex helped police pin him down pretty fast. Surveillance from Riva, street cameras, and even their own messages had all linked him to the crime.
Up-and-coming rap star XXXTentacion, but two of the suspects are still on the run this morning. Investigators say Michael Boatwright and Trevon Newsom confronted the rapper as he left a motorcycle store in Broward County last month.
In 2023, justice had finally landed. Boatwright, Newsom, and Dedrick Williams had been convicted of first-degree murder. Robert Allen, who'd played a smaller role, had taken a plea deal and testified.
As charged in the indictment, during the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Trevon Newsom, actually possess a firearm? Yes.
Tentacion's death had not been live streamed, but that security footage and court evidence had painted a chilling picture. A young artist caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. A similar thing happened to this next rapper. Independent hustler and southern hip-hopper Young Dolph gained recognition with his debut album King of Memphis. With hits like Preach and 100 Shots, his music spoke on money, power, and survival. But above all, Dolph was a man who moved differently. He stayed in the city, he gave back, and he didn't live in fear. That loyalty cost him everything.
It's like killing season down there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the culture, like shit.
It was supposed to be just another day when Dolph pulls up to Makita's homemade butter cookies, a place he went to all the time to show his love for the local business. But this time, someone was watching him, waiting for the perfect moment. A car rolls up and the doors swing open.
This grainy photo released by police shows a person in gray pants and a dark hoodie, with gun in hand, apparently firing.
By the time the shot stopped, Dolph was gone, just like that.
The spot he died.
I just wanted to be alive for him, because he deserved all the love. He gave out a lot of love around here, and to take him away is just a pain. It's a real pain.
The city of Memphis went silent, then erupted. This wasn't just a loss, but a hit. Dolph had survived an ambush before, back in 2017. That time he took 3 bullets and just walked away. This was 100% his ops doing. 3 suspects are arrested: Justin Johnson, Shondale Barnett, and Cornelius Smith.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first.
Dolph wasn't just a rapper, but a father, a businessman, and a legend of his city. His album Rich Slave had hit number 5 on the Billboard, proving his independence was more than just a flex, but a blueprint. He owned his masters and stayed true to his roots. But even that couldn't save him. His words to The Guardian in 2018 hit different now.
I'm not a person that lives in fear.
Maybe that's why he never ran, why he never left Memphis behind. But in the city, where love and hate come from the same place, sometimes staying home is the biggest risk of all. But now what happens when the roles are reversed? This next rapper was suspected to be the one doing the robbery instead of being the victim. Chief Keef has always been controversial, but this time the headlines weren't about the music. This Chicago rapper was arrested in LA for a violent home invasion that sounded like something straight out of a crime film.
Sit over here. Sit over here. Sit down.
I'm sitting down, bro.
Sit down.
Just another chill afternoon when SWAT officers surround a house in Tarzana. Inside, Chief Keef, who had no idea they were coming. And as they storm in, they break down part of the wall to get in there. Along with them, police arrest 24-year-old Darren Rose. Both Chief and him were booked for home invasion robbery, with Keef's bail set at $500,000.
The men are suspects in an armed home invasion robbery that happened in the Devonshire division about a week ago that involved the presence of assault weapons. People were robbed at gunpoint, they tell us, in that situation.
Now this all started with a robbery in the San Fernando Valley. Chief and Tado, another rapper, forced their way into a home, assaulted the victim, and stole thousands in cash and jewelry. And the victim? He wasn't just a random target. It was Keef's former producer, Ramsey the Great.
He started hitting me in the face. Tato started hitting me in the face. You know what I'm saying? So, to call me rat, all that, man. I ain't never claimed to be a gangster, none of that, nothing.
Ramsey didn't stay silent. From a hospital bed, he posts a video detailing this attack. He said that he'd been woken up by a knock at the door, and when he answered, Keef and this other guy rushed in, armed and ready. They robbed him, yeah, okay, but they also beat him. Punches to the face, a gun in hand. Ramsey claimed they took $1,600 in cash, his rings, and a Rolex watch. Photos posted showed a swollen face, a cut near his eyebrow, and a neck brace.
Yeah, he stole my $1,600, he stole my ring, he stole my Rolex. You know what I'm saying? I just think that somebody who with $6 million would be a little bit smarter about their actions and showing their face.
This ain't Grand Theft Auto.
Ramsey said in a Graham video, slamming Keef for acting like a character in a video game.
that he and his entourage assaulted and robbed the Beatsmith, who posted a video about the incident on his Instagram last week.
I done produced a song for him, met him a couple times, I ain't think nothing was wrong. Opened the door, boom, he pushed me in.
But after the arrest, things take another turn. Some fans are starting to call Ramsey a snitch, saying he shouldn't have gone to the police. That only made him angrier.
You supposed to transition, try to be, you better send somebody else to do it. You stupid, dude. You stupid, dude, for real. You're stupid.
He made one thing clear. Chief Keef had no one to blame but himself.
I'm doing what I'm doing because I know it's right. You can hate me, call me a rat, whatever, man. He shouldn't have did what he did.
And while that's going on, old rumors are coming back now. Back in 2015, 2 men were found dead in a Compton marijuana dispensary called Chief Keef Glow Shop. The rapper's camp denied any connection, but the name alone kept his reputation in murky waters. Now, this wasn't Chief Keef's first rodeo. Let's go back a year to 2014 at a Migos show in DC. A scuffle breaks out, and when it's over, Quavo's prized quality control music chain was nowhere to be found. Now, this wasn't a random brawl. Migos had been trading shots with Chief Keef, Fredo Santana, and the rest of GBE in the weeks leading up to this. So when Keef suddenly posted a picture of Quavo's chain on Twitter, it didn't really take detective work to put 2 and 2 together. Keef quickly deletes the post, but the message was loud and clear. Someone from his camp got their hands on it.
You ain't know none of that, boy. What? You ain't know none of that, boy. You know it, boy. All right, what? You ain't said, did you?
Less than a month later, Migos posted a picture with Keef, captioning it Miglow, a mashup of Migos and Glow Gang. And in that photo, Quavo had his chain back like nothing ever happened.
Listen, man, the song, it's like if somebody stand up to the song, man, if for you, then you jealous, you're a jealous nigga.
Did they buy it back? Did they settle things behind the scenes? Who the hell knows? But one thing's certain, whatever tension was brewing between Migos and GBE got squashed as quickly as it started. It's weird to see rappers do the robbery because one would think that they're the ones with the money, but it happens. And this next rapper pulled a gun on his accountant. Here we have Gunplay. Now, Gunplay wasn't just known for his music. The name itself tells you what kind of energy he brought. But that reputation caught up with him in the worst way. Now, it's just a regular meeting with his accountant one day. They're doing numbers, paperwork, business as usual. But then something just sets him off. In less than a second, the vibe shifted. Surveillance cameras caught everything. Gunplay stands up, reaches for something, and everything turned left. I mean, this escalated fast. What should have been just a financial discussion turned into an armed confrontation, which, you know what, I kind of understand. Gunplay didn't just threaten, though. He allegedly took a cell phone and a gold chain before walking out like nothing happened. But nothing about this was going away quietly. The footage was damning, and the charges were pretty serious. Armed robbery, aggravated assault with a firearm. Days later, Gunplay turns himself into Miami-Dade police. His attorney didn't really sugarcoat anything. If convicted on both counts, Mr. Gunplay here's looking at life.
Gunplay surrendered at Miami-Dade Police Headquarters.
Gunplay, would you like to say anything before you... Huge in the world of rap and hip-hop, but quiet as a church mouse, Gunplay, whose real name is Richard Morales, followed his lawyer's advice and said nothing as he turned himself in to face armed robbery and assault charges.
For a rapper who built his image on chaos, this might have been the moment when reality finally hit him. Of course, there were a lot of behind-the-scenes action that never came out. This next rapper got robbed right under security cameras for the whole world to see. 2 Chainz, building a career of confidence and swagger. But back in June 2013, the rapper found himself in this situation where no amount of bravado could prevent. Now, he was just like casually walking through San Francisco, but it turned into sheer chaos when 3 armed men target him in broad daylight. Surveillance catches what went down. The video shows 2 Chainz and his entourage moving down the street when suddenly a gunman approached. The rapper's reaction? Panic. He and his crew take off running, but the attackers weren't just looking to intimidate, they're after his valuables. A single gunshot rings out, adding to the frenzy. In this chaos, they snatch his wallet and a cell phone before disappearing. The video goes viral, and then they're questioning his street persona versus his real-life instincts.
Just coming from where I come from, there's certain instincts that you have, there's certain reflexes that you have, and I can't expect everyone. You know, it's just not, you know, they have fire drills in school.
But 2 Chainz ain't about to let the internet control anything. He downplays everything, brushing it off as nothing serious. However, behind the scenes, he's making moves, starting with firing his bodyguard for even speaking about the situation.
Your bodyguard actually did an interview and said...
Yeah, he's not my bodyguard.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did he get fired after that?
No, I didn't hear his interview. I don't know what happened.
He said
that incident raised an important question. How safe are you really, even with your entourage? Fetty Wap, shot to fame in 2015 with his massive hit Trap Queen, bringing a melodic sing-rap style that set him apart. Now, Fetty has had his share of ups and downs, but losing his signature 1738 chain in a heated altercation, that takes it to another level. This goes down at the 24-hour deli in South Paterson, New Jersey. A scuffle breaks out. Fetty finds himself face-to-face with a known figure in the area, Ronald Fuzz Thomas. What happens next is about to be talked about. Surveillance captures the chaos as Fetty and his crew clash with Thomas. Within moments, the rapper's chain is snatched, and before the dust settles, Thomas was already making a statement. He didn't just keep that chain, but jumps on social media and posts a picture of himself wearing it, sending a clear message.
They pushed him out of the deli, they robbed him, they took his chain, now the chain's being passed around the hood.
But the stunt didn't go unanswered. Thomas was seen waving a gun inside the deli before firing shots outside. That reckless move puts a target on his back, and it doesn't take long before authorities step in. He's arrested and charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, landing him in the New Jersey's Passaic County Jail with no bail.
Stop it! Gotta be nice. Hey, hey! Come on, man. Hey! Come on, guys!
In hip-hop, having your chain snatched, it's like a public challenge. Losing your chain during a scuffle might be one thing, but when it's your own fault, that's something different. Like this next guy we're going to talk about. Now here we have Shy Glizzy, building his reputation with some gritty street rapping and signature flow styles that kinda set him apart in the DMV rap scene. Known for tracks like Awesome and Dope Boy Magic, he carried himself with some confidence of a rising star. However, Shy learned firsthand how things can spiral when performing in the wrong city. Back in 2015, his signature Glizzy gang chain was snatched in the middle of a show in Memphis, Tennessee. And what happened next turned into a full-blown spectacle. Now, during his performance, Shy's chain somehow ended up on the ground, and before he could react, it was gone. According to Glizzy himself, it was a clean robbery. He claimed it simply fell off his neck, and once it hit the floor, it became a free-for-all. And at one point, things got out of control. He later rapped on a remix of OT Genesis's Cut It, downplaying the situation.
Broke boys had a scrimmage.
The so-called robbers saw an opportunity and didn't waste time. They reportedly demanded $50,000 if Shy wanted it back. A classic street tax. But before Glizzy could even decide if he wanted to pay up, Yo Gotti's artist, Black Youngsta, stepped in.
50 for them motherfuckers. You should have did a song. Bill should have did a song. He asked you not to do a song. You said get the f out your face. Come on, man.
Reports say he bought that chain back for just $10,000, flexing his own connections in Memphis to shut the situation down. However, the next rapper wasn't as lucky. He got shot, even though he did exactly what the robbers wanted. Waka Flocka Flay made a name for himself with his high-energy tracks, raw delivery, and street anthems like Oh Let's Do It and hardened to paint. As a key figure of Atlanta's trap movement, his aggressive style and bold persona made him both a target in the rap game and in the streets. Way back in 2010, reality hit hard when an attempted robbery left him wounded and without his signature Brick Squad chain.
Brick Squad Monopoly, man. I love this chain right here. This chain right here cost me $70K. Solid gold, VVS decolored. This right here cost me $5,700, just the gold chain.
Waka Flocka's flame story wasn't just about his jewelry. This thing came with bullets. On January 21st, 2010, he's approached by an armed man who immediately demanded his Brick Squad chain. Waka was already handing over his jewelry when the guy shoots him anyway, hitting him in the shoulder.
I put my phone in the console down, and the console looked to the left. A friend of mine was in the car too. A friend of mine, BC, was in the car with me. So I closed. By the time I looked to the left, I turned to the right. I had a gun in my face.
A short time later, someone claiming responsibility for the robbery sent a picture of himself rocking Waka's chain to Karen Civil, making sure the world knew he had it. But Waka, he wasn't sweating it. When MTV catches up with him a month later, he's got a new chain and a whole different attitude.
Oh, he flew you out here. He got far.
He even joked about the original one making its way back to him, saying,
Round one's gonna pop up in my mailbox like, hey man, here.
Getting shot and robbed would shake most people, but for Waka, just another day in the office. Now, this next rapper didn't even have a chance to defend himself. Mike Jones. One of the biggest names in hip-hop, known for those infectious hooks, signature Who Mike Jones catchphrase, and his platinum-selling album, Who Is Mike Jones? In the mid-2000s, he was everywhere, rocking flashy jewelry symbolizing his success. But in 2009, that same jewelry revealed its price. Mike Jones didn't just lose his chain, he lost trust in the people closest to him. Way back in 2009, his signature Ice Age pendant disappeared. But this wasn't some street robbery or industry beef. It was straight up betrayal.
Man, I was sleeping in my house one day and I woke up and my homie stole it from me, you feel me?
Really?
Yeah, like straight up. Grew up homies, like partners who I grew up with, I mean, you know. And that just let me know, I mean, it's insured, so I got another one being made. It's gonna take like 3 to 4 months to make it. It ain't like somebody just ran up on me and say, get it here, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sleeping in my house and I wake up and it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Inside my house.
I mean, the people who robbed him were his own friends. And it wasn't just the chain. They'd take his bracelet and watch too.
I guess they waited till I fell asleep, and when I woke up, it was gone. Yeah, they stole that one, the bracelet and the watch. You know what I'm saying? But I still got my ring though, so.
Jones wasn't panicking. Everything was insured, so he's not taking a financial hit. The real loss was realizing who he couldn't trust. Instead of dwelling on it though, he flips the situation into a lesson.
That was a learning lesson to me, you know what I'm saying? That's material stuff. You know, I ain't tripping on that because I can re-get it and I'm gonna re-get it, you feel me? The point of it is just they just sold their soul and they showed their true colors. And
Mike learned a hard truth that day. The ones who crossed him had just sold their souls for a few pieces of jewelry. Years later, when Jones makes his comeback, he had one thing to say to those same people.
Back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot, you all on me.
What's more surprising though, getting robbed by your homies or at the barber shop? The next rapper was out for a fresh look, but caught a different type of fade. Miami rapper Briscoe, affiliated with Lil Wayne and Birdman's Cash Money Records, built his name with some gritty street tales and collaborations with some of the biggest names in Southern hip-hop. So Briscoe decides to go for a haircut. And in 2009, this routine trip would turn into a nightmare when 4 armed men storm in and change everything.
Caught on camera, a local entertainer attacked by armed intruders storming a South Florida barbershop.
Oh, they didn't just want a cut, they wanted everything. The gold watch, bracelet, chain, pendant, even the keys to his car. It's like a full-on robbery. And there's nothing he could do but watch it unfold.
4 men coming inside, their guns draw, they order everyone to the floor, all the customers, all the employees down on the ground. These men strip them of their jewelry, taking Briscoe's car keys and eventually stealing his Range Rover.
But instead of dwelling on it, Briscoe did what rappers do best. Turns this loss into motivation. He tells CNN,
I'll get bigger jewelry and still go hard. It's great material for my next album.
When most rappers get robbed, they do everything they can to keep it under wraps. Not this next rapper. He takes it to Instagram and announces it right after getting jumped. Almighty Jay first gained attention as part of the YBN Collective, known for a laid-back style and some catchy tracks. He rose to fame with hits like Chopsticks and No Hook. But not long after his name started popping, his chain got snatched. Jay wasn't about to let a robbery slide without making some noise. He hops on the gram, calling out the guys who had just snatched his chain in LA. But instead of staying quiet, he dared them to flex with it.
Y'all answer this for me, bro. Y'all answer this for me. Yo, what the f is wrong with niggas, bro? What's wrong with niggas?
Jay was mad, but that was just the beginning. A year later, it gets worse. This time, he's not just robbed, but jumped in the streets of New York. His jewelry gone, and it looks like another loss on top of that last one.
Take his chain. Take his chain. Take his chain. That's the YBN. That's the YBN.
But Jay had something powerful in his corner. Rap-A-Lot CEO Jay Prince wasn't about to let his artist go out like this. He steps in, making sure the chain found its way back, and just like that, Jay has his ice again. But the message was clear. Don't mess with Jay Prince's people. You see, as a rapper, you expect people trying to catch you lacking. But Lil Wody learned the hard way that flexing for the gram comes with risks. This 16-year-old artiste, known for tracks like Pimp Ho and Side Hoes, has built a solid online following. Because why not? His songs rack up streams on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud, but this time, it wasn't his music making headlines. It was a robbery caught on camera. Late one night, Lil Wody chilling in his car, casually streaming live for his fans, and everything seemed pretty normal, until it wasn't.
Tight shit. Come on, out here, bro.
Out of nowhere, this masked figure appears. Robber, fully disguised, wastes no time, first grabbing his chain, and then some cash, and just like that, it's over.
Oh, you can get that. You can get that. Hold on, bro. You can get that. Hold on. Come on there right now. You for real, bro? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Hello, hey, that nigga trying to run, bro.
What happened next? Nothing. Lil Wody didn't fight back, he didn't yell, he didn't resist, he just sat there, complied, and drove off, looking visibly nervous.
Hey, Lil Roger robbed me on camera.
But instead of just letting this go, Wody tries to flip the script. Hours later, he's back on the gram, this time not as a victim, but as a gangster. Or at least that's what he wanted people to believe, as he offered $5,000 for the robber's address. Was Wody really about that life, or was this just damage control? One thing we know is that, in the name of rap, perception is everything. And once the streets see weakness, they don't forget. Just like what happens to this next rapper. Doc 2. No stranger to the high life. A millionaire rapper with a reputation for luxury. This guy moved from an upscale home in Seoul to LA, looking for a fresh start. But what should have been another night in Koreatown turns into a nightmare. It happened fast, between 7 and 7:30 p.m. While Doc 2 and his manager are grabbing dinner before heading to the airport, someone's ready to make a move. Outside, his car sat parked, seemingly untouched, but when he returned, he saw it.
Yeah, see it. Oh my God, it's Dookie! Oh my God! Yeah, Dookie. What? Let's get it. T-Pro Box still alive, baby. Alive. He's still out here. What's up?
The rear window on the driver's side was completely smashed. Necklace, watch, camera, passport, even the 2 phones he used in Korea, gone. Everything was wiped out in an instant. Doc 2 took to Instagram showing the damage and venting his frustration, and then he does what he's supposed to do, files a police report. But the response? Brutal.
Yeah,
This happens all the time in LA. You shouldn't have left your bags inside the car,
they told him. That's what happens when you're too busy flexing to notice who's actually watching. But you know what? That's nothing compared to what we're about to talk about. Pop Smoke, finally seeing it all come together. After grinding through New York's drill scene, his name was ringing out everywhere. Clubs, charts, playlists. Meet the Woo 2 had just dropped, debuting at number 7 on the Billboard. His first tour's about to kick off. The first show sold out in DC. I mean, he was ready to leave for good, level up, make the leap. But someone else had other plans.
Now at 11, we're following breaking news. A rap star on the rise killed during a violent home invasion in the Hollywood Hills this morning. The music world is in shock as police search for the shooter.
Pop Smoke was staying at the Hollywood Hills with a few friends. What he didn't know, he'd been targeted. It starts with a social media slip, a photo posted maybe too quickly, a gift bag, an address, a glimpse of where he was. That's all it took. Around 4:30 in the morning, 6 armed masked intruders break into his house. They go straight to Pop. He's shot multiple times. When police arrive, Pop was still alive, but barely. He's rushed to the hospital, his fans still asleep, not knowing that their favorite rapper had just been ambushed in the dark. But by morning, the headlines hit. Pop Smoke was gone, just 20 years old, gunned down in a place that was supposed to be safe.
We obtained video of paramedics taking him out of the house, performing life-saving measures, and we know he was then transported to a hospital where he was later pronounced dead.
5 suspects were eventually arrested. 2 were juveniles. They weren't random thieves either. This was targeted, premeditated, cold. And the more investigators dug, the more it looked like Pop wasn't killed for who he was, but for what he had. That's the reality of gang violence, social media, and diss tracks. They stir the pot.